Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to today's Geometry Dash video, where I will be discussing my thoughts on the Geometry Dash World Cup, which is widely considered to be the biggest competitive event in the GD community. Now, as many of you may or may not know, the Geometry Dash World Cup is an event that has been going on recently on Twitch that will end a few days after this video is uploaded. And the prize pool consists of $125 plus. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, there are a few issues with this event, but before we get started, I'd just like to say that I in no way endorse hating on this event or its organizers, and this video is for constructive criticism purposes only. Please keep your comments regarding this video and event as constructive as possible. Now with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's hop right into the video. First and foremost, let's talk about the name, the Geometry Dash World Cup. This is, in my opinion, the biggest issue with the event. So just change it and everything's good. Okay, video's over, goodbye. Okay, but obviously there are more issues than just with the name, or I wouldn't be making a whole video around it. So why is the name bad? Well, when you think of a World Cup, you think of an event that is the culmination of several events leading up to one final competition where the best of the best compete. And well, the Geometry Dash World Cup is anything but that. Now, I don't know about their future plans, but as of right now, the Twitter page surrounding this event claims that another event will occur about every 4 months. But these events aren't labeled as preliminaries, they're just labeled as World Cup tournaments. The issue with this is that it is not a World Cup by definition. 32 players were invited to compete. Sounds more like an invitational to me. So why is it called a World Cup? If I had to guess, it is probably just to bring in more viewers and sound cooler than the Geometry Dash Invitational Cup. But in my opinion, both names sound great, while only one is completely accurate to what type of content it actually is. While I'm not certain that the organizers of this event are willing to rebrand, I'd very much like to see them do so for accuracy's sake. But if not, that's up to them, and I would understand why not, considering a lot of work has been put into the event's current branding as it is. Or maybe I'm wrong and they have plans to turn this into a much bigger thing, but with large players already having lost in the current tournament, I can't see the winner of this going on while leaving some big names such as N-Swish behind. Now, if they were to actually try and be true to their name instead of changing it, what do I think would make the most sense as an actual Geometry Dash World Cup? Well, for starters, make the tournament much bigger. I'm talking at least quadruple the size of the current one, and make sure all the biggest names in the community are involved. Or even better, have a massive open tournament over the span of several months, anyone can enter, and have these serve as a preliminaries to the much larger final event. Obviously, every player involved would have to have a way to stream themselves playing the game and have a decent computer, but those would be the only real qualifications in my idea of a perfect Geometry Dash World Cup. Of course, this would be a massive event with a massive staff, and it'd leave plenty of room open for drama and controversies around it, if not run perfectly. But all big events have that potential. Another interesting potential change would be to add a losers bracket. That could get messy really quick and would require further ruling to make it work properly. Whatever is done though, it'd be best for it to feel more inclusive and open than anything, as giving casual players a shot at winning money is always better for viewership and the community, as long as the event is run well, and I'd love to see it end up that way. My next major point is entry requirements. Now, if you didn't already know, the entry requirement for the current tournament is that a player must have beaten a top 40 demon to be in the tournament. In some ways this makes sense, while in other ways it makes no sense at all. For one thing, beating a top 40 demon is a great demonstration of skill in the game, but it does not necessarily mean that the player has an aptitude to beat easier levels relatively quickly. Individual matches are races to see who can get farther or beat a level in a specific amount of time, depending on the difficulty. On screen you should see the bracket now. The difficulty starts at Easy Demon and escalates each round, with more allocated time to beat the level or get as far as possible each round. So let's say a player who rarely plays Easy Demons enters. Because they do not have the same ability to practice and learn a level quickly, they are less likely to make it as far in bracket because they don't play the kind of gameplay seen in these levels often. While they may have the mechanical talent and ability having completed a top 40 demon, This does not help them in learning and beating a much easier level very quickly. Case in point, Technical versus Nepesta in one of Viprin's race streams. While Technical has way more extremes under his belt than Nepesta, Nepesta was able to easily 3-0 him in a best 3 of 5 race. This was because Nepesta has way more practice beating easier levels and way more talent when it comes to sight reading and learning quickly when it comes to these easier type of levels, whereas Technical is able to quickly learn and beat hard extremes with far more ease than Nepesta. So what is the solution to this issue? Again, I believe that a much larger, more open tournament system would allow people who believe they have the ability to beat easy to insane demons quickly to show off their abilities and make it so that anyone can come in and dominate, given the opportunity. Do I think having an extreme under your belt is a terrible thing? No. But do I think that you can easily dominate a tournament like this without having completed any extremes at all? Absolutely. Although it is unlikely that such a talented player wouldn't have beaten at least one extreme. Top 40 on the other hand is entirely unnecessary, as the type of difficulty seen at that level of play is a lot tighter than what is needed to beat much easier levels quickly. Now while I do think there are a few other issues with the Geometry Dash World Cup, they are nowhere near as major as these. Some possible ideas to throw out there would be that instead of having a best of 1 with a tiebreaker, given they beat the level the same attempt or tied on percentage, would be to obviously do a best 2 out of 3 match. Obviously in this sort of system, ties are still possible, but given they happen, you can either disregard the match, move on to the next one, or do what they are currently doing, which is to have them play the level again at the same time and eliminate the first to die in the level. In a much larger tournament, this could become an issue if they run out of levels that players haven't played, but with the amount of demons in the game, I highly doubt that is possible. To end this video, I'd just like to say that while I do have an issue with the naming and entry requirements for the Geometry Dash World Cup, I do think it is a really cool event, and it being the first of its kind, it's obviously going to have some flaws. That said, I've been watching it when I can, and it's actually very entertaining, and I'd recommend that you all go check it out too. I'll leave the links in the description for all those who are interested. That said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I definitely had a lot of fun making it. I'd really appreciate it if you all like and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch, so make sure to check me out there if you want to see me live. Go make sure to also check out all of GDWC's stuff as well, as I'm sure you're all probably interested in that too. And with that, this is JAwedude in my first of many weekly discussion videos to come, signing out. Peace.